Right, welcome everybody to another episode of Chris and Dave's Reality TV Cast. I'm one of your hosts, Chris, and my co-host and very good friend is Dave.
Hey there, Chris, and hello to our listeners out there. Welcome to Chris and Dave's Reality TV Cast. We are covering Married at First Sight Australia, Season 12, Episodes 21 through to 24. Now, Chris, where would you like to start today?
I just want to say thank you to everyone, actually, Dave, because the YouTube channel, we are now at over 100 subscribers. So thank you so much for supporting us over there. There's things we're learning as we go along each week doing this live. And I must admit, the new format seems to go down better. You can see us a little bit better, Dave. You know, we prepped
Better
it.
or worse?
Well, I don't know. I can do that in editing, Dave. Put the filter on us. But I do think that we've had a good start.
Filter.
Beautifiers, yes. the wrinkles and that. But no, thank you so much to everybody. And one thing we did notice as well, we have been pointing the podcast to YouTube. So they ended up being 2 episodes. So there was the video episode and then there was the audio episode. And a couple of people have commented that they didn't see us. They actually just saw like the thumbnail. So apologies. So going forward, anything on YouTube will just be anything we do on video. If we don't do a video episode, then it'll be the audio. But either way, there won't be that confusion. So thank you so much anyway. And feedback, keep it coming. Good, bad, anything you want us in there. We're trying to keep the format exactly the same as the audio stuff that we both do. But yeah, it's been a really good week again. So thanks for your support.
Yeah, and it's a bit of a learning for us as well, isn't it? We've been doing this stuff for 6 years, basically roasting reality TV mostly. But, you know, there's no worries that we're still going to be ourselves. We absolutely will not be selling out and doing no product placement.
Get that mug off the screen. I've got no. The Casamorians are dead, David. We don't speak about them. That's like
They will be back, maybe in the summer.
No, I need to get my reality radar merchandise going as well. But you're right, Dave. There's no product placement from us at all. That's disgusting. But anyway, episode 21 of MAFS from this week. Honestly, mate, I've been dying to speak to you, like, especially that Thursday episode. Like, the whole week was just like building and building. And I think it's been a good week. It's always them filler bits. But I think, like, with the commitment ceremony at the start of the week and the experts going at Paul. And you know, there was a couple of comments, Dave, about like some people said about ourselves, like we sort of I didn't think we were. I thought we addressed Paul, but we were a little bit dismissive last week. So apologies, it wasn't that at all. We were calling him out, but I felt we did call him out, but it's just interesting everyone's perspective. So I think with the experts going at Paul, that was the right way to do it. And also, he probably should have been booted off. I felt like the way Karina and they said that she's enabling that behavior. It's all like he's the victim and everything, and somehow he's obviously a grandmaster at that.
Yeah, so I went back through last week's episode, and I kind of I agree with the comments, and I don't think we didn't do it intentionally, and I can only speak for myself, but I don't think I explained what was in my head very well. For me, the violent conduct, like as if he's being sent off for a VAR incident. For me, that's the obvious thing that he's going to get lambasted for, and rightly so. But the thing is that was most disappointing, like the way he was coming across in, let's say, non-verbal or non-words expressions. You know, let's say he was speaking German or something. You were just flicking through the channels, and you just came across this German channel, and you don't really care what they're saying. You're like, okay, I'm not really worried about the intricacies of this plot, but I can tell what's going on. If it was in that scenario, Chris, I don't know what you're laughing at. You would know that he comes across like he's very, very upset and remorseful.
Yeah.
Where my head was, though, is the disturbing thing about it is his words didn't reflect that. He didn't seem like he was taking, well, he'd say the words, he's taking full accountability for it, but he has it in a butt sandwich. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm taking full accountability for that. But what she did, was this, that, and the other, and I felt disrespected. And he goes on to sort of blame her and then just almost justify it. So for me, I was more focused on that bit because I didn't really feel like the experts were necessarily going to go for that. I thought they were going to go for the obvious thing, which was the violent conduct and red card.
Yeah.
But I do get the comments, but I think I know from my own side, I just didn't really explain what I felt very well.
Yeah, and also I don't want to get told off again. The reason I'm laughing when Dave said German, particularly German TV channels, and I will address the politics, is when we were younger, there was certain channels, Dave, that you could watch on Sky that we talk about on our other podcast, The VHS Strikes Back. And that's all I'm going to say. If you knew what Tutti Frutti was, then that's what we're laughing at. But anyway, I do, yeah, maybe
I
it
was
was just the way
Italian,
we,
not German, though.
was I Italian?
But
Well, Dave,
yeah,
don't matter about the language, let's be honest, what was on the telly. A young,
that
impressionable
wasn't
Chris.
the important thing, Chris.
No, it certainly wasn't. But anyway, moving very quickly. So that's what I was laughing at. But I think with Paul, like maybe we didn't express it right. Maybe it was, the way we said it, but no way we're supporting like his behaviour. He's an absolute bellend. I think the experts held him accountable. Probably should have been kicked off, Dave, because I don't
Yeah.
honestly think watching him, this isn't the first time. I said it last week. He's obviously got a track record of this, whether he likes to admit it or not. And there's something there with him. He just thinks that by crying, being emotional, he's remorseful. Well, it is an actions thing, and that should be it. Dot. You've made a mistake. We all make mistakes. I can't sit here and say that none of us, throughout life, whatever we've done, in whatever scenario, we've all made mistakes. But that is wrong, and it's completely wrong. And putting Karina in that situation where she then feels that she has to sort of console him is classic manipulation. His classic
Mm,
skills are there. So this guy is going to keep doing that. I don't know whether he needs counselling or what. And I know, obviously, for the rest of the week, it was quite quiet. But I did feel for Karina because she was defending him, even when the experts, Mel and that, were stopping him dead, going, no, like you said, the butt sandwich. There is no
mm,
buts. Violent behaviour stops there. Whatever other contestants are doing, and we've seen it in the past, it's not acceptable. But the only thing I would say from the show, they're very fucking loose with this violent behaviour thing as well, because even the situation with Olivia that time and Dominique, with the glass thing and everything, she didn't go at her the way Olivia said, but he was still violent. Didn't really get pulled up,
mm.
and it was a few years ago. So, and that's not the only one. There's been a couple of instances on the show. It's not excusing Paul. He's a complete bellend. And I do think listening to everything that was going on, the way you would, like you just said, the excuses and everything as we watched it, he should have probably been booted off. That's it. It's
Yeah.
not fair on Karina, but you can't do stuff like that and set an example. They're being trusted to live with these people, and
Mm.
even if it's a fake relationship like some of the other couples, you don't do stuff like that. You just don't. It's a TV show, and it's entertainment. We know it's pretty fake, but that's not something you do. So for me, Paul, I think Paul is the bell end of the week, Dave. No matter what happens, he's definitely getting that award this week.
Wow, I haven't even thought that far ahead. I'll make that judgment call when we get to the end of our conversation. He's
Okay.
definitely the forerunner, though. And I feel like the upsets, the only way I can rationalize it is it's more about he's embarrassed and it's like he's been caught. He's been
Yeah.
caught out for something. So that's the only way I can rationalize the visible upset. And I don't think he was faking that, but the way he wasn't really taking accountability and was sort of blaming her for it all. But let's see where they go. Like you say, a bit of a quieter week for them as a couple, not a quieter week for them, full stop. But what I would say, Chris, if we move on, scooch on past that, another drama in a different way is leading up to the not the dinner party, the commitment ceremony. They have that little cocktail party, don't they? That's what they
Yeah.
call it. And where's Marina? Who knows? Oh, she's not here. Oh, right. Oh, yeah. And the producers know exactly what they're doing. They're sort of holding her back, but she storms in. And she's not going to let him have the last word. I mean, what did you think of that whole interaction with Marina and Tony?
It was pantomime, wasn't it? And I do think Tony's been exposed a bit this week, and I think everything she said is validated. I think the way she delivers it at times, because of she's always on that front foot, not the back foot, like I said last week, Dave, the front foot, and she's ready to go in. She's trigger happy. But she's
Mm.
right. For him to just come out and just say, I want children from nowhere, it's ridiculous, isn't it? Last week's episode,
Yeah.
absolutely ridiculous. So she's completely right. I think the experts were the same. But when she came in, Dave, I'm not just saying it. I think my fucking toes I literally had to go to
It,
A&E and pull them back. They were
it was
curled under
pretty
with the
cringe,
cringe.
wasn't it?
Oh, it was rubbish. I get the effect of it. I get why she was doing it. You're not having the last say. It doesn't matter. I was hoping that they would both say leave, and I think ultimately it's right. But I do think
Yeah.
Tony isn't the nice guy, as such a nice guy that I've sort of thought he was in some respects. I do believe that the 29 years Moreno said that she's not been able to speak. I'm not necessarily buying that. I've said that every week. But he is not the nice guy that he is. And I think ultimately he looked more of a dick at the end of it. And he was a bit of a bellend. But that entrance, Dave, was ridiculous. It was just so overproduced. It's like she'd done it about 5 times. And then they were like, we've
Yeah.
got it. It was so ridiculous. But the other, sorry to cut across here, the other thing I would say is, and there is a but, Dave, is the way that the other contestants support Tony. Even the girls, they
Yeah.
don't seem to validate what Morena's saying, maybe because of their
Yeah.
age. And I feel that maybe when they're older, there'll be a light bulb moment where they'll go, "Oh shit, that's what Morena wanted, and that's what she was
Moreno,
talking about." But at the
did he
moment, they
play up
haven't got
front
the
for
life skills
Atletico
or the
Madrid?
experience. Yeah, him as well. Yeah. Just on what I mean. I think that's what's
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
not been a nice thing for Morena, and that's why she stormed off ultimately, is because nobody seems to have her back, which is sad, really,
Yeah.
because I think she had a very good point there at the end.
And just before we get more comments that we're dismissing that grand entrance, I think where our cynicism comes from is that that was all producer led. That wasn't
Yeah,
it's like a movie, isn't it? It's like, oh, what was it? Was it The Graduate or something? Where's the one where they're banging on the window for the wedding? And it's like
yeah.
someone coming right at the end, making a grand entrance, and like you say, it looks like it's been done about 5 times before. So I can imagine there were people watching that and punching the air, going, "Good on you," but didn't land for me.
No, me neither. Me neither. But what about Dave, Adrian, and Athena? I thought this was bad. I thought that he should have been booted out. And I'll be honest, I've done a full 180 by the end of the week. I'm going to call out Athena thing by the end of the week because that was not nice to see. And Dave called out Adrian and he said like she's holding stuff back. She looks really upset. She looks an emotional wreck. That stuff with his
Mm,
family, the friend, it was terrible. That there's no
yeah,
coming back from that. And honestly, they should have really gone for him. But again, they don't see anything again. This is utter bullshit. When something happens like this, where there is a duty of care for somebody, the producers should show the experts what's going on. None of this bollocks where they're getting a bit of bit of gossiping by the people when they're at the dinner party. Just show them properly so they can have a proper perspective. Because again, they come in with their hands tied behind the back, and I know that's what the show's been about. But it's not fair because I thought Adrian got away with it again, and Athena just didn't have anything to say. But I did think, are we Bronte and Harrison now? Is she just putting up with this for the show? And I'll be honest with you, Dave, by the end of the week, I think that's what's going on. I don't like Adrian at all, but I think
mhm,
she has revealed herself even more. Like when he pissed off because he wasn't in the promo shots and everything. I
yeah,
think
yeah.
Athena's just going to ride and die to the end of the show. I know they're probably not together now, but I'm not having it now. I think she's playing the game as well, even though he's a dick.
I, I know what you're saying, and I'd probably have it like 90% Adrian, 10% her. I mean, should have wrote leave and just left,
Yeah,
and that was the end of it. Um, I got quite a lot in my head based on what you just said there. So let me think. I guess the first thing, the experts, Chris, the fact that they don't see any of the footage through the week. We've seen all the footage through the week, and I know it's edited, and I still just think, they rock up. We have just recorded our thoughts on Highlander 2, where Sean Connery got paid over £3 million. Or was
yeah.
it $3 million? 3 million of anything. It was a lot of money in 1991 for about 6 days' work, and he rocked up half dressed in his golf gear, so just popping in between golf rounds, did a little bit. Yes, Miss Moneypenny, and then fucked off with $3 million.
Yeah.
Good luck to you, sir, but you are fucking, having a laugh there. The experts are the same. They rock up. The so-called the footage from the dinner party, I am now convinced, is shot about an hour before they fucking go and do the
Yeah.
commitment ceremony. They're just literally, you all right, lads? Got a few minutes in. Right, let's have a look. Don't give a fuck about what's happened in the week, and just like us, but at least we've seen more content than they see. And it's just like, oh yeah, say this. I've got a feeling they're holding up, like almost cue cards. Say
Yeah.
this, because they haven't got time to watch it, formulate an opinion. This is not a fresh, yeah, this is my opinion. Just say this, John. Say this. Fuck off, experts. But anyway, so that's my thought on that bit when you said about the experts not, or the producers should see the footage. Sorry, I'm suffering with hay fever a bit today. It's that time of the year. I do love the sun, but I don't love the hay fever. With Adrian and Athena, I mean, it was quite sinister. Felt, when he's doing his canvassing, isn't he? He's
Yeah.
getting everyone to say, "Oh, family day." Oh, honestly, Athena's sister was embarrassing. She embarrassed herself, and he's telling everyone, and Athena's at the door and can hear him, and then she comes in, and then I felt it was really uncomfortable, sinister, kind of manipulative. Felt it was just very unpleasant the way he was trying to manipulate her into saying, no, just don't speak about anything about that. And she's like, I just fucking heard you speaking to everyone about that, giving your side,
Yeah.
but I'm not allowed to say my bit. And I think so at that point, I'm thinking, well, it doesn't matter. Adrian's going to stay no matter what. Yes, you've got a contract. I'm sure there's negative things that could happen, but just fucking leave. This guy is toxic. He's a knob. No, he stays, so they have to stay. But by the end of the week, you'd have thought nothing would have happened. And I'm like, none of the issues have been addressed. They've just had a bit of slap and tickle, and all's well.
Yeah. And I'm with you. And you can't tell me that him and Sierra, who's not here now in the show, didn't have something. There was something there. It
Yeah.
was fucking bollocks, that. Absolute bollocks. I'm with you. And I think, like you say, that whole manipulation, he knew his family were out of line. He knew that he was lying, but they were backing him off his bullshit. I think he knew deep down that when this airs, he's going to be a world of trouble. That's why he was trying to put her off. That's why he was saying, don't say anything. It was pure manipulation. He knew that he was completely wrong. And at that time, he's obviously had a bout of conscience. And I think that's maybe why he's changed slightly towards the end of this week. I'm not buying it anyway. I think it's a ruse, but I just think that maybe he's thought, hang on a minute, I'm going to come across so badly to like the Australian public, the world public, that everyone who's watching it. He's just a nasty piece of work, and just everything about him. There's an excuse. It's someone else's thing, and what contradicts what Athena was saying was he's very overpowering, and he is the way he manipulated. And she's like, "You're not going to tell me that I can't speak or not what to do." But that's what
Mm.
he did. She didn't say
Yeah, yeah.
anything. She just sat there. She didn't once address the horrible behaviour from his friend and his sisters. And I'm like, there's something not right. And maybe she was too emotionally broke down. She thought, I'm just exhausted from it. I'm
Mm.
hoping that's what it was. But by the end of the week, and then now will be a fucking couple of the year, I was like, come on, I'm not
Yeah,
having
yeah.
that. He's gonna treat her like that again, and I'm just like, she deserves better. And then I'm like, well, it is the show. It is what it is. My bloody earpiece keeps falling out, Dave.
But
I've got to say that. And put it up my nose, it'd never fall out, would it? But if it's in my
no,
ear, it's
no,
falling out. Well, there you
it
go. But
wouldn't get any
anyway,
traction though.
all right, all right. I said the joke.
But the thing is, when Adrian was being asked, okay, so we asked you last week, you got to put in the hard yards. Like, what have you done? Well, I don't know. I do an impression, but I don't think we have a subtitles machine. Oh yeah,
I
we
can't
were
do
going to
it.
go out one night. Did you?
Yeah.
No. And then I was going to do this other thing, and we didn't do that either. And like rattled off all these potential half-assed ideas that none of them came off. And so it transpired that he'd done absolutely the square root of fuck all to address any of these things. And so yeah, so Athena in that point, at the commitment ceremony, I don't. It came across to me like she just completely lost her voice. She was sort of broken at that point. So I don't hold anything against her at that point. It's more the couple of the year at the end of the week that just
Yeah.
grates on me a bit. It's like, are you that deluded? Like, surely, I mean, it's not like you're a kid. You've experienced a bit of life. You know what manipulative people are like. I don't know. It's always harder when you're inside the eye of the storm, isn't it, than when you're outside looking in. But yeah, I do question Athena at the end of the week, like you.
Yeah, yeah, it's bizarre, bizarre, and I mean, saying that, Dave, you questioned me about my bell end of the week with Paul, but and I am actually thinking about the couples retreat, and we got the whole. How the hell are we at a situation in this show at episode? Well, we finished about episode 24, so we're going into episode 25. Has Eliot got a redemption arc, Dave? Because I am questioning my whole being now about everything I've said about this guy because I don't think he's actually that bad of a guy at the moment. Because not bad of a guy, but I still stand by some of the things he said. But Lauren, oh my
Yeah.
god, what has happened to her? She completely called Clint. He's not an alpha to the whole group. The way she
Oh,
spoke about
I
it,
hated that
horrible. That
because
if
he
you
does
said
the
that
dishes.
about yeah, it's just so fucking wrong. And again, she's acting like she is like an absolutely the most gorgeous woman in the world, isn't she? She's so far up her own arse. And it's like, he don't deserve that. Look, he's a bit of he's a bit of a drip and he's a bit of a Walter, off the green or whatever it is, what the softy. But he doesn't seem like a bad guy. He's a golf pro. Stop it. He's a golf pro. But
I've
she's
not
just
heard that
gone,
name for years. And talk
yeah,
about a niche
old school,
deep
and
cut.
old school. Yeah, no one will know what that is, but it's just by it felt with Lauren, the whole heel turn was literally wrestling levels of have the
Yeah,
producers got hold of her here because the way she spoke about the girls and that what's called is it bogans they call them and all that and she just
yeah, yeah,
oh she was just a nasty piece of work. Didn't want to go. Didn't want to get involved with anybody. I'm just like, why have you come on the fucking show then? You know what I mean?
yeah. And again, my head's swimming a bit. But I will address there was something I didn't say about Tony and Morena because, like you said, it was back and forth, and Morena is convinced that Tony, when he found out about her age, that was it. It all changed. There was a spark before that, and then there wasn't a spark after that. And she was on one and having a go. And then he'd been the nice guy all along. And he just said, it's not that, it's your personality.
Yeah. Oh, he
I
did
just
say that.
thought,
Yeah.
yeah, I just thought that is a ninja level put down. To be honest with you, it doesn't matter how fucking old you are. You're a bit of a bellend,
Yeah.
and not in a nice way as well. So you just reminded me there with the whole Lauren switch, because I felt the same this week, Chris. I felt like some of the things that Eliot said were unforgivable.
Yeah.
And the editing, made it look like it was all about Lauren's age. It has, this week has placed enough doubt in my mind, though, to say, well, did he just see some of her personality behind closed doors? Lauren's,
Yeah.
that is. And then that was the trigger, because the first day, the wedding and stuff seemed to go okay. So I don't know, but as I would hear back in the day, I think she walks around like Lady Muck. Is
Yeah.
did you have that phrase?
Yeah. I remember
Lady
that
Muck,
one.
looking down her nose at everyone, Mrs. Bouquet, not Mrs. Bucket. She just thinks that she's better than everyone else. The whole thing to call out Clint because he was doing the dishes, and that means he's not an alpha male, just wound me up chronically. It's like, what do you really want? And the thing, again, I'm going to the reason this annoys me so much is, again, because I think about my lad. I think he's not going to be watching Married at First Sight, to be honest.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he's disowned me for doing this podcast. But, I don't want young boys hearing that and like thinking, oh, yeah, like someone like Andrew Tate's, he's a good fucking role model, isn't he? So it's just, I find those words really, it gets me angry, if I'm honest. But then Clint, he's the most milquetoast, beige, boring bastard who's ever been on this show, I think. He looks like Butthead from Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah.
Um, and it doesn't matter what he gets told, he's clearly not got any ability to read people at all, although they say, a lot of CEOs and stuff are narcissistic sociopaths. So maybe it's that. Maybe he doesn't read actual other human beings. But I'm not putting together how is he this business entrepreneur? Generally, you meet CEO, they're larger than life, charismatic. This guy's got nothing. And so at the start, when all this stuff about him not being an alpha male was coming out, I'm thinking, I'm in Clint's corner then, I'm defending him. But even when all the facts are laid out in front of him, and then he starts twisting it round to be like, oh no, we're pretty great, aren't we? We're good. They don't see us together. I'm like, mate, no one can help you. just go off and be boring and stare at your beige walls.
Yeah. He says, yeah. What's that? Is that beige behind you, Dave? But anyway,
It's
go on.
not, but it's not far off.
It's Magnolia, actually. But no, I think we've heard like that whole flip and delivery. She's not entertaining anybody. She doesn't want to speak to anybody. And obviously, this is where we got really the biggest fallout of the week because Jamie, very opinionated. She has come and defended a lot of the like different contestants, mainly the girls, and she's been a voice for that, whether you like her or not. And I think personally, we've got to like week 5 or week 6, whatever it is, and I think every time she spoke, I'm pretty much nodding at what she does. I think she is very trigger happy, the way she delivers things. But I think this week, especially, she was right to go at Lauren. Lauren was disgusting, and none of the other girls were strong enough to go at her. Lauren's just like she's been a bit bully, to be honest, if I'm being honest, Dave,
Yeah.
and really disrespecting everybody, even the people like Ree and Karina, who Lauren doesn't really care for, to be honest. I don't know whether
No.
they think no, she does. They don't. She doesn't. I don't know whether she thinks or they think they're going to be in the fucking groovy gang with her or something. I don't know, Dave. I don't know what's going on there. But then it's
Yeah.
weird because when she decided not to go to the dinner party, and her and Clint had this little do, and it was all staged because there was bits where Clint's going, "Oh, I wonder what's happening over at the dinner party," and then you've got fucking Jamie going fucking mental, pointing. She's doing that a lot, Dave. You said about John pointing his finger. She was doing a lot of that, but
Yeah.
but but I think like it was all set up for that, wasn't it? And also this whole thing about, what she wants and how she's not thinking, well, I tell you what, just leave. You've been on the show once. We all thought Eliot was the pantomime villain, and he was. And like you said, some of the stuff he
Mm.
said was unforgivable. But let's not kid about it. Did Eliot say all this because she was just being horrible? Was she being like this, like you said, off camera? I'm sort of thinking that I think she was, to be honest. I'm not saying I'm
Mm.
forgiving him just because I'm a guy and it's Eliot, but she's fucking horrible. But then we get another flip, Dave, and I know I'm jumping a little bit, but like Big Dave gets involved, doesn't he? And he's there. Dave, I've got to be honest, I'm going to say this now. I think this has been a bit of an action, Big Dave. There's something off about this guy. He loves to give advice out and tell people. And a lot of the time he's been right. And I've sat there and gone, yeah, he's right. Someone's actually speaking up some of the bad behavior. Even with Paul, he called it out last week's dinner party, and that was right to do. I'm thinking, but there's something off about all with this, Dave. And I think I didn't like what he was saying to Jamie at the end of like the kickoff. We haven't got into that yet. So I could be
Mm.
wrong, but I don't think Big Dave is, and nobody's as nice as what they say, but I don't think he's the wholesome character that he's portraying. He's got people's backs, but I don't know. There's something just creeping in for me. So I don't know why. My spidey senses, Dave, the reality radar he's kicking in now. So I don't know whether there's something off about this guy. And that's not
I think that,
excusing what Lauren did, but there you go.
no. I'm not going to see it the same way. I've not seen anything. All I saw, and we'll come back to go through that whole kickoff, but all I saw him was defending his, wife, and doubling down. But when he sought out Clint after, and did you know, Chris? Got a bunch of comics here, but back in the day, Clint was actually banned as a word to use in
Oh, is
comics.
it?
Yeah, because if you spell it with capital letters, and the printing process isn't perfect, it can look like something
Yeah.
else. So it was banned as a
Yeah,
as a
yeah.
word to use. So there you go. Fun fact: you don't just come here for nonsense reality TV talk. But anyway, yeah, the way he marched over to Clint, and you could tell he was wound up. But I do think he's a bit of a gentle giant. I think he's very aware of the size of him, but he was in a position where he feels like Clint's being walked over. He's sort of standing back for it, but you can see his wife's getting dragged into all of this drama as well. But I did think when he started marching over, I thought if Big Dave starts windmilling, we're all fucked.
Yeah, he's a big
He's a
lad.
big lad,
Yeah.
and if he went full on Paul there, yeah, he'd be taking names, that's for sure. But no, I'm going to give him a pass for this week. Again, we've not got the foresight. We're not watching ahead, so I could be completely wrong there. But I saw him defending his wife as just that. He's defending his wife.
I didn't, David. I did.
Yeah.
I did. I did and I
But
didn't. Let's
let's
get
come
into
back
it.
then, because
Okay.
we've skipped by why we're on different pages there, and I feel like we could be on different pages before, because you mentioned a few seasons ago the smashing of the glass, and
Yeah.
Olivia was the one for me playing the Lauren role. She was
Yeah.
playing Lady Muck, and just
Horrible.
that
Yeah.
snooty kind of "I'm better than you." She was saying, "I didn't call you a bogan. I just said it was
She did.
boganic behavior." All right,
Yeah.
is that better? And you're just trying to act like you're better than everyone, which doesn't make you better than everyone. But who's the name of the person who smashed the glass? I can't remember her name.
Dominique.
Dominique, that was it. I think these are the same roles. They are the same personality types. They're the same characters. Olivia is playing the Lauren role. Uh, Jamie is playing the Dominique role. And the thing is, they are. We saw some replays where Jamie, calls out when she sees other people, and she calls out bad behavior, and she'll defend when she sees that there's an injustice. Now, she is quite loud, but she's doing it from a good place, that I feel. And as that girls' retreat, I mean, it's great, isn't it? Girls, yay, all day
Yeah.
brunch and all that. So, and it's a bloodbath by the end of it.
Oh, I've been there,
But
Dave. Yeah.
but
Yep. Yeah.
but I feel like she was slightly justified. Let's just focus on the girls' night. She was slightly justified because Lauren was being like really snooty and off with pretty much everyone, but Jamie was the one who decided to put a tin hat on and go into battle. Now, did she have to? No, but they are all there together. And I feel like sometimes by trying to not take a side, you are taking a side. And whether they like it or not, Ree and Serena, they took a side, and that was Lauren's side, and they defended Lauren. Now I could see if they felt, and we're only seeing the edited bits,
Yeah.
but if maybe that went on for ages and it was like over the top, and it was like, okay, this is too much like bullying now. That is a possibility. But I just thought it was just trying to play all nice, and like I say, they took a side in the end, and I didn't think I think they picked the wrong horse, to be honest, because Lauren doesn't give a shit about them. But in trying to be this Switzerland middle ground, like I say, they've ended up taking a side. So how did you see it?
So I think Jamie was the only one who had the bollocks to stand up against Lauren, and she called out the bad behaviour. I think that Karina and Ree silly move going with Lauren, so I agree with you there. But Jamie is, and then Jamie's from a point of she's got the moral high ground. This is wrong. She's looking around the table. Am I hearing no one's backed me? Whatever. But it become obvious though, Dave, as well. Is she's quite an overpowering character, and
Mm,
I don't know. And telling people to shut the fuck up all the time. Like I thought Veronica, who I've not been a fan of, but I thought she was right when she said to her, like it just went on, and she was overpowering her opinion. She doesn't listen to someone else's perspective. But I also think she probably gets amped up because she knows that she, in her head, she's 100% right. So why
yeah.
shouldn't she? And that's what I struggled with. By the end of it, after 15 minutes of her pointing like this, telling people to
Mm,
shut the fuck up around the table, Karina, I don't know what was going on there. That conversation was nonsense. Karina, she couldn't battle with Jamie. She
mm,
tried, but Karina's stance on it was mean girls. I'm sorry, no,
mm.
Lauren was being the mean girl. She was being
Yeah, yeah,
horrible. She was basically looking down her nose, basically saying that you're all trailer trash. I'm fucking better than
yeah.
you. Scurry off down back to you fucking, back. All you peasants should struggle up back down to the kitchen to make my supper,
Yeah.
sort of thing. That's what she was doing. Downton Abbey job. But when Ree I think Ree's argument made a bit more sense. Karina's didn't, but ultimately, you are right. They backed the wrong horse there. But
Mm.
I don't think it's. I don't. In my opinion, I still think Jamie was in the wrong because she was just when she said you're calling me a mean girl, and then went fucking nuke you. That was it. I was like,
Yeah.
no, no. Like Veronica the week before, when she's saying, "Don't you be shouting at me?" and he's like,
Mm,
not even, Elliot's not even shouting at. She raised her voice, so I felt like I think by the end of it, I was totally exhausted, and at the end of it, I thought,
mm.
"You know what? You're all a bunch of fucking bellends." But I don't
Well,
think Jamie's gonna get off with it. She's not gonna
no.
get away with the way she spoke by the experts. I think they're gonna pull her up because they said that her opinion is the only thing that matters, and if you are giving
Mm.
her constructive criticism, whether it's right or wrong, she doesn't listen to that other argument, and that's what I struggled, Dave. I must admit.
So I would invite you to watch that dinner party again. We probably won't do it, and I'll do the same. You've just reminded me. I felt like the experts were trying to tell us as the viewers what to think because they were focused. All the dialogue was about Jamie and how that she's shouting and her opinion matters. But when she was going at Serena, Serena's voice was as loud as Jamie's. Like they were literally shouting at each other, but the commentary was all about Jamie and how she's really, shouting at people. I thought, and the thing is, you could tell, Serena kind of came in ready for a battle or ready to defend herself, and I think a bit like I've said before, they were just sort of talking about two different things. I think all Jamie felt a massive injustice. She felt like she'd been let down. She felt like I say, by she didn't even think they were trying to take the middle ground. They sided with Lauren, but they're supposed to be her friends. They've known each other for ages, and it's not like Lauren was going specifically after Jamie. She's going after everyone. So why the fuck would you side with her? Whereas I think Serena just felt like she was the one being attacked, so she wasn't keeping the main issue, which was in that moment, it looked like you were siding with Lauren. She was going to defend, and once you get into a position of defending yourself, and when it's heated, you're going to defend yourself no matter what. But I don't think that's what Jamie was after. And you contrast that with she started to go after Ree, but Ree, I think, explained it better. She just said,
Yeah,
in that moment, I like to take time to process things before I speak, and that's absolutely fine. And so you could see the way it took the wind out of Jamie's sails completely. It was a completely different reaction. It was just like, that's all I wanted. And so, what I love though, Chris, I have to say, and I'd love to get feedback. I've got a feeling again that this will split opinion. That whole was Jamie too far over the line? Was she being too overbearing and whatever? But again, like one of the other reasons you reminded me of Tony's expert, like, yeah, it's not your age, it's your personality thing.
Yeah.
After Jamie has done the old Jon Snow, up against
Yeah,
the
yeah.
horses meme, everyone's sort of coming at her from all directions and whatever. She just turns it on Veronica, and she's just like, "Oh yeah, well you were obviously speaking to Lauren about Eliot, weren't you?" She just
Fucking hell.
expertly
Deflection.
threw
Yeah.
the grenade in there, and it was just like, in fact, other meme, I can see Kermit, sipping his lemon
Where's
tea.
your cup? Where's your cup? You're supposed to get your cup
Oh,
out, Dave.
yeah. There we go. There we go. So, yeah, Veronica, what about you talking to Lauren and bad mouthing Elliot?
And then it kicked off. Yeah. And that's it. That's it. Because she did, didn't she? And then she spoke to
That works
Lauren, and
really
he
well for a podcast, by the way.
yeah, he
But
does actually. Yeah, a video what he does. But he was right. Like, why have you gone to someone who's going to be a biased audience against me? Someone who hasn't got. And she's like,
yeah,
she's the only one. She was lying a bit. But I think what maybe for me it's PTSD with someone like a character like Jamie is she's on the moral high ground, but it's that not listening. And I know plenty of people that I didn't like the way she coaxed Ree into the apology, if that makes sense. Like, I'm not saying that Ree shouldn't have apologized, but she wasn't the only one. Athena was the only one who had Jamie's back because she called him out. And when they
yeah.
said mean girls, she went to Karina and said to her, like, what is that everyone? What are you saying? And Karina had no argument because she went, I don't mean that. I'm like, no, you can't throw
Mm,
that out there and not expect something back. It's just that Jamie reminds me of so many people where their opinion is right and they're not asked. And we all have done that. We all have tunnel
mm,
vision sometimes, but she's so overpowering, and everyone was saying it before. And
mm,
I don't maybe it was the experts, but I do think, Dave, this comes back to one of my other points. The experts have not seen what fucking Lauren have done. They're taking Jamie's word, and now we've got this confrontation. Maybe that doesn't help the situation because they didn't see what Lauren did, and she was wrong, and no one else backed Jamie really at that point. So maybe there is that as well. But I still say, like I said, that bit where they don't see anything is it's a massive hole that
yeah.
creates so many problems because we had it last season, didn't we? Had Holly and the lad who's in the army, the UK one, Holly and not from Birmingham, Dave, the boxer.
Phil.
Uh, fuck off.
Sorry, I could. I, I couldn't resist.
You
I'm
absolute
sorry.
bellend. And I've got an answer for that, but I can't because we'll get fucking
Yeah.
cancelled because we're on a video fucking thing now. But anyway,
I
you know
don't
what I
like
mean?
uncomfortable silences. So,
Stop it. Right.
oh, are you okay?
Fuck me. Are you okay? How have you been? Yeah, you okay? That's a UK
oh yeah,
reference, by the way. Anyway, whatever he was
Holly and
called,
someone else.
yeah, and the experts
Oh,
defended him. Remember? These,
the experts
everyone's
got it completely wrong, didn't
yeah,
they?
they defended him. I know Holly
Yeah,
wasn't great at times, but that moment in the show, they backed the wrong call. And
Alex.
again, Alex, because they didn't have the perspective of what we've seen and how despicable he'd been that week to her. So anyway, again, it does come back to that. It is part of the show. It makes it silly. I mean, I'll be honest, I cannot wait for the commitment ceremony. This is going to be glorious. But I think I'm also going to be throwing stuff at the TV because I've got a feeling they're going to go at the wrong people. I think Jamie's going to bear the brunt. As much as I don't agree with her delivery, I think she's going to get more stick than what Lauren actually does, which I think's wrong, to be honest.
Have you seen the preview for next week?
No, why? You've got that Spider-Man.
Ah,
You've got the
interesting.
Spider-Man. No, I haven't seen it, Dave. Hmm.
I will not say
Philip
anything then.
Schofield don't come on, does he?
In what way? So
Fuck off! Stop.
oh, a bit of Gordon the Gopher action. Um, so
This is what's
yeah,
not had the talk, man.
I don't yeah, don't really know what to say.
No, I
The
don't.
preview the preview for next week looks good.
Right.
And
Okay.
I'm with you with the experts, and they don't see all the context and everything. But I don't think Jamie is the only one who's going to get both barrels. Let me put it that way.
Right.
And I
Hopefully.
cannot wait for Monday.
Oh, it's going to be great. It's so
It's a
good.
good preview, to be honest. It's really good.
Yeah. And it does me. I tell you what, though, Dave. I tell you what, I do want to address, and I'll have to watch it now. I'll watch it when we finish. Is why are the episodes so fucking long these days? Like you put it on a UK TV, it's an hour and 35 minutes. That's with adverts. So it's about an hour and 15, hour and 20. It never used to be that long. The UK one's not that long. It's an hour, and you've got 45 minutes.
Mm,
You put it on, and when they're tossing it off in the apartments with these fake fucking things they're doing, I don't give a fuck about that. Get me to the dinner
yeah.
party and get me to the commitment ceremony. Show me
Yeah.
10 minutes before. You could have
Yeah.
2 episodes a week to MAFS. You don't need 4, all this pissing about all week. Get the best bits, fuck off all this nonsense and get to it. Because I honestly, I look at that time and I go, oh my God. And as much as I love the show,
Mm,
it's a big commitment that's 6 hours a week for
mm.
literally probably about 15 minutes worth of
We've been doing
really
this
good
shit for
content.
6 years, and you've just fucking figured that out.
Yeah, it's not the point, Dave. That's just not the point.
At least we
I'm
don't
not
record
happy.
every episode now.
Yeah. I can't put it on 1.5 speed. If it was on YouTube like it used to be,
Yeah.
you could speed it up a bit. You
Yeah.
can't speed it up now. So toss it. You can fast forward if you want to, but that what I'm getting at, I'm being a bit silly because I don't fast forward it because I'm literally like, what might happen? Me and Sam will be like, it's the adverts.
Yeah.
And then we're like, yeah, but you miss. I mean, you do miss things, so I'm playing it up a little bit, but it's a big commitment. I don't remember it being that long. I must admit.
I don't know. I think it has always been that long. I mean, if you did fast forward it like a little bit, you could always catch it in the 6 replays that you get of the same scene
But after the
after.
break,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
that's
that's
American reality TV. That.
yeah, yeah. I mean, that's the sort of tactic they have, isn't it? But I mean, I do feel like this week was pretty good throughout, though. I mean,
Yeah, it
I'm the
was.
same as you. Dinner parties first, commitment ceremonies second, and then I don't really care for the episodes in between. It just helps give you context for what the drama is going to be at the dinner party. But you do get little gems like, Jackie telling all the girls that Ryan doesn't like to have sex before he goes to the gym because he wants to hold on to all that testosterone. Probably sure that's like a worshipped alpha male thing, maybe. And then he did not like that, despite saying, things about her previously. It's the same as Adrian and
Yeah,
Athena. It it's not the same the other way. I can say stuff, but you can't say
you
stuff.
can't. Yeah,
And that was
yeah.
a reoccurring thing where he was really put out by that, wasn't he?
He was, and hypocrite, Dave. Hypocrite 101. We
Yep.
can't call it. You don't say what he did, and the fact that when he said the story about Jackie and what he said she was good at, Alexandra was there as well. So why would
Mm,
you say that in front of a lady anyway, Dave? Irrespective, if you're going to be a cock and speak about like that to your mates having a drink
mm,
or anything, whether they agree with it or not, but in the context you're on a TV show, you've got an expert there. Just because she's a sex expert doesn't mean she's going to be happy with that. And nobody was happy with that. But yet he didn't take the other way. And I'm like, well, it basically he's been you saying about like people like Andrew Tate and that he thinks he's some sort of elite athlete, doesn't he? I laugh about his neck day thing. He's got a great body. He obviously trains. He
mm.
really looks after himself. But all I'll say to you, Dave, if he's saying that about the testosterone, there is some science behind that, considering the way he looks. But I'll say no more than that, Dave. He does take his vitamins. But there you go. There is
Yeah.
science
I mean,
behind that, if that's what he's alluding to, shall we say.
yeah. I mean, it's just a shame because Pob was great, but seeing him grow up to become that dickhead
Yeah,
is not
yeah,
a good
it's
thing.
no,
But
no,
yeah, what I didn't like about, I mean, Ryan just cannot take any sort of criticism, can he? And
no.
when we met him before the wedding and everything, he said about being bullied, and that's why he's jacked now, But I kind of wonder, like, can you just probably not take a joke? Is it that you were bullied and people were having a laugh in your vicinity and like taking the piss out of you? And you just couldn't take it. And the thing about Oh, what's the girl with TJ? What's her
Uh,
name?
oh, this the English
But
girl, isn't it?
yeah, so her. So why are you looking that up? But when she
I'm
was
not
just
looking it
saying
up, Dave.
about, oh, you'd sooner go to the gym than fuck your wife, and he
Yeah,
was like,
Beth.
oh, what's that? Classless, classless, and it's like,
Yeah.
what's class got to do with it? It's just taking but because she's sort of taking the piss out of him a little bit, he starts making it a thing about class, and it's not just a stupid thing that he says in that comment. He's trying to turn it on TJ, but he's trying to like almost color TJ's opinion of her by highlighting this thing. And I did like TJ's response, to be honest, because he called Ryan out, and saying, well, this whole classless comment. And then again, you get this weird thing where Ryan's apologizing to TJ, but he's not actually going back to the person and actually apologizing to her.
No, he's a weird character, isn't he, Dave? He's got stuff. The way he reacts and interacts with people is not right. And we've said that. I mean, luckily, Jackie had quite a quiet week. Other than that, didn't she? They've been front and center now for nearly 3 weeks. So
Mm.
it's good to see other couples coming to the fore and have this little bit of drama, as you would say, Dave. But no, I
Drama.
think,
Beth,
yeah, I think, yeah, yeah,
I thought
I
you were
think
looking
they.
for it, but clearly not.
I did say Beth. I thought I said Beth
I
before.
did.
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
you are.
I'm no. Sam
Drift off.
tells me off for that. No, Sam does tell me off for that day. It's the ADHD. I think I've responded, and she go hello, and I'm going. I've just responded, and I'm like,
In my
responded
head.
in my head. Yes, like if something happens within the family, and one of my sisters says, or somebody says to her, like, "Did Christian not tell you?" And then I could just feel the burning, like Homelander, Dave, and Homelander's eyes go, and he's about to
Yeah.
take him out. I can feel the burning, and I'm like walking away like this, just like I don't know. But yeah,
Just Homer Simpson back
oh,
into the
honestly,
hedge.
no, I get myself in so much trouble for that. I think I've told her, and I haven't. It just gets totally sidetracked. Um, but yeah, anyway, Beth, you're right. I just think with them, like with Ryan, it's just they're not suited, are they? They're riding it out each week. They come in and they look like the greatest couple in the world, and then Jackie has an outburst. I mean, that's what they've done every single week. I know they've had more of a storyline in previous weeks, but I think maybe we'll get the same thing. They're going to ride this out, these two, till they can't, basically, until they get. I don't think they're going to get booted off. I think they'll just go right way through the experiment now. If they're clever enough, that's what they should do. I mean, maybe there is other
Mm,
drama. I don't know. But no, I think it's been a good week and good talking points as
yeah.
well. And I'm with you, Dave. What you said, I'd love to know people's comments. So I know like we're on YouTube now. So Chris and Dave's reality TV cast or at CD Reality Cast on YouTube. But come and please like and subscribe. Get in the comments on YouTube. And, am I right? Is Dave right? What do you think? Give us your perspective. On Spotify, you can leave comments. We get a lot of comments on Spotify as well. So thank you for that,
Mm,
guys. Or come on the Facebook and come in the chat. I'm happy to be called out. Like we said last week regarding the situation with Paul, I didn't think we were dismissive, but I maybe need to have a listen back at it because his behaviour was wrong. So it's good talking points as well. So I do appreciate the fact that we're not always right. It's just how we both see it. And today we both see it slightly different, which I like as well. It's just something
mm.
different when we're doing the podcast. So now it's been good fun today.
Yeah, and definitely whenever we do one of these seasons, it's always when the conflict happens that's when the different opinions really start to dig in because
Yeah.
what you were saying, I do know other people who are just really stubborn and just stubborn as a mule, as they say. There's an old Family Guy sketch where it's like, oh yeah, Kevin Bacon was in something. It's like, no, he was in Footloose. No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't.
Yeah.
And so I know those types of people. I don't think Jamie is that sort of person. I just think she, like I say, is fiercely loyal, but also has that burning sense of justice. You and I, Chris, in that same situation, would just be like, right, if you feel like massively slighted by someone who you thought was a close friend, they'd just be like, right, fuck off. I don't want the conflict,
Yeah.
but that's the end of it. I'm just probably not going to trust you again. So but her opinion to try and or her approach to try and tackle it head on, is different. But I think I also get it.
Yeah. Well, look, it's been good. And I get it. I'm with you.
Mm.
I think it's just going to be. We're going into like the last couple of weeks as well of the experiment, Dave. Experiment. It's not marriages these days. It's purely experiment.
Yeah.
It's episode 25 to 28 in the UK this week, which is really good. So, no, I can't wait. I can't wait.
We might actually, because you're going away, we might
Did I tell
finish
you
it
about that,
then.
Dave? Did I tell you
We
where I was
might.
going, Dave?
You know what? I don't think you have. But I have been spammed to fucking death on social media and stuff, and like every
My
moment is
social
like
media manager,
count
Dave, if you don't mind.
countdown. You know? All right, it's fucking coming up soon, is it? But actually, no, we might be finished then because we were trying to figure
Yeah, we
out
could.
how we'd handle that. But I think we'll be finished.
I think we will be as well. Yeah, from a content director, Samantha is now the social media director of Phelps Travel, Dave, on YouTube if you're into holiday vlogs, because she's now been an absolute
Your
diva.
link down at the bottom or something.
I will put a link, Phelps Travel, at Phelps Travel. I've dropped the vlogs, Dave, because it makes more sense, at Phelps Travel. But yeah, Sam is now the content and social media director. I am the gobshy and editing director, so I like that. You'll see my mug quite a lot. But no, she's been spamming everyone, Dave, but she's done it. She's done really well. But the only problem is now she
Yeah.
wants paying, Dave. I'm not happy about that. You should do it for the love
Yeah,
of a husband,
I'm
supporting a
wondering
husband.
about some of the HR issues that might be created.
Yeah, we haven't got a HR department, Dave. I'm like I'm just like, I'll put my hat on that way and then that way. So yeah, there'll be no disciplinaries coming my way. But anyway, big thank you this week, everyone, as always. Please go over to Facebook, Chris and Dave's Reality TV Cast. Big thank you to our friend Charlene, as always, who's been in Vegas recently, Dave, and was sending me over
Oh, nice.
some restaurants, and I was sending some over. So she had a nice trip there with her family. For setting up the Facebook for us all them years ago, and she moderates it. Like, we do appreciate that. Please get into the chat section as well, because you've got like the Married at First Sight Australia UK time chat. If you're up to date in the UK and you don't want to spoil it, there is actually a proper timeline one as well, which has got all the spoilers and that's which I've tried to not go in. So it is really good, and we have like a lot of chat going as the episodes are live in the UK. If you want to email us, cdrealitycast@gmail.com. If you want to follow us on social media, that includes YouTube at CD Realitycast. So please get over there, guys. And if you do want to support myself and Dave, please go over to patreon.com/CD Realitycast. So this week's roll call of honor, and a massive thank you to Holly, Darren, Anna, Tilly, Marcy, Stacey, Sinead, Kathleen Sims, Nick, Danielle, Kim, Amanda, Larissa, Nicola, Gillian, Keith, Helen, Chloe, Joanna, Libby, Susan, Lauren, Lucky Green, and King Gustafson. So thank you so much, guys, for your support. Amazing episode again. And thank you again to you, Dave. We're not going to get cancelled with your Holly and Phil joke, hopefully. And I will just clarify that was David who said that.
There's time yet, so we shall see. But no, thank you very much, mate. It's always good to speak about maths again. Still dipping our toe into this YouTube malarkey. I know you're more of a veteran than I am, but it is good fun. And just a slightly different spin on kind of what we've done before. So, but getting back to the important stuff, Chris, getting back to maths, I cannot wait for next week. And especially having seen the preview and you haven't, I'm sure we'll be texting quite furiously on Monday night. So appreciate you, sir. Appreciate all our viewers, all our listeners, all our supporters. And we'll speak to you next time.
Bye.